Morning, everyone. We are here atop the lovely shores of Lake Balaton. The Badacsony hedge. The Badacsony hedge is right through there, that little green pocket, with its basalt rocks, a geological relic from a time when the Pannonia Basin was active with volcanic activity. And in its wake, it has left lovely soil for delicious wines of many varieties. Now my mother and my brother Anyuka Meshuchim, they are fast asleep back at the Birtok, and we're gonna take a little morning ramble along the Machkaku. So come join me as we take a peek around Badacsony. Here you can see some of the basalt rocks. There used to be a basalt mine over here. Even the Romans back in the day, they knew about the power of basalt and how good it was as a material for construction and other things. Here we can see the Imre Borpinsa. It's closed at the moment. Had a nice little glass of Keiknielu out on the terrace there yesterday. Keiknielu, it's a very signature wine in Badacsony. Blue they say, blue grapes. I think around 85% of the grapes of this area are white, and then you got some blue. I mean, the wine's not blue, but they say the grapes are. And Szegedi Rosa, or Rosa, Szegedi Rosa. She was the love of Kisfaludi Sándor, that famous early 19th, late 18th century poet who fell in love with Szegedi Rosa right here in Badacsony, a more romantic place you cannot imagine, with the grapes and the views and the majestic sunsets and all of the enchanting atmosphere. Centuries of wine growing, and now he has a street named after him, Kisfaludi Sándor. And there's the sigil. There's the sigil of Badacsony. You got the birds, you got the Griffmadar, you got the lake, and you got the mountains, and of course, the grapes. And there's the Kisfaludi Ház. I think it's a restaurant and maybe even a hotel nowadays, but that's where Sándor lived. That little dog, that little devil. Oh, make it work for this one. A forage. Mineralic. The Kisfaludi forage. Oh. Okay. Here's a Borzo. That's like a wine bar. Everything's about wine in these parts. And wine and views. As I said, it's fairly early in the morning, but you can imagine sitting out here at dusk and looking out into Lake Balaton. I think this is a historical house, the Szegedi Rosa house. Szegedi Rosa, Kisfaludi Sándor. The two names you gotta know in Badacsony. And I guess now, Felvideki Vilmos. We have some great legends here in Badacsony. Aroja Q Legendeya, Ahableyan Regeye, Ahangozo Burtsmondaya, Saint Istvan Kadyanak Badacsony Legendaya. Gotta try to remember these on the walk. Ferko, Joska, Ferko Yo, Joska Nemyo, Hablian Mermaid, Rojaku, Rosa, Szegedi Rosa, és Szent István Kardjának Badacsony legendája. Könnyű. Kaltos. Kard. Tűzgyűrű Tanúsfém. The Ring of Fire. Look, the volcanic activity. It's amazing to think that once upon a time, this Badacsony was an active volcano. We've got the Országos Kéktúra, the National Blue Route. You can see all the places it goes through here. That's us, Badacsony. Szép napot!
Szép napot!
Huh. Okay, whoa, what is that? Nagyon érdekes. Whoa, what do we got here? All sorts of treasures lurking around. Huh. Okay. The Badacsony napkorona. Nem tudom miért, de jó. A Badacsony hegyen egy áranló altár, a napon tündökve hirdeti a szent korona, él és a magyar. Ember őszívével tisztán élteti, hiszen anyai áldás vezele házépítést, mi alatt a Kárpátháza egységben egy szívként örökké él. Or so they say. Or so they say. Ooh, so many. Terrific, terrific. The vines simply plummet into the lake beyond. Now, we spoke just a moment ago about that legend of Joska and Ferko. Who were Joska and Ferko anyway? Ferko, half of one, six a dozen of the other. So Ferko and Joska, they were two brothers and they lived on a vineyard just like this one. And you know, Ferko, he was strong, he was older, he got the job done, let's just call it what it is. Joska, nice guy, but a little bit of a wimp. Younger, sensitive, in touch with himself and his feelings, but what did that really mean hundreds of years ago? Not much if you were a woman. And there was a woman. And I'll be honest with all of you, that woman, I don't know what her name was, but let's just call her, for old time's sake, Briggi. And Briggi, she took quite a liking to handsome, strong Ferko. She liked his vineyards, she liked his strong arms, she liked his chiseled jaw, and she said, Ferko, I will marry you, but I'm only gonna marry you if you do something about goddamn Joska. I'm not living on the vineyard with him. He's a wimp, and I just want you to all myself. You know, we gotta make some babies, we gotta do a little this, we gotta do a little bit of that. Get rid of Joska, please. Kérlek, Ferko. Nagyon cuki kis Badacsony háza, basalt. And you know, Ferko, he didn't mind his brother. They weren't like enemies or anything, but Briggi was a pretty girl. And Ferko was like, actually, I'm kind of evil. Joska's the good one. I'm the evil one. So why not be evil? I'm gonna get a wife out of it. So he says to Joska, Joska, come with me out in the boat. We're going to the lake. And Ferko, he takes a big, giant stone and picks it up and brings it into the boat. Joska, he's not dumb. He's like, oh, for fuck's sake. Ferko is hypnotized by some pussy. He's gonna drown me. So they head out into the lake, and lo and behold, at a certain point, Joska puffs up his chest and says, I must live with Briggi alone. It is time for you to die. I don't know what this door's for. Okay. Anyway, so Joska, he accepts his fate. He's much weaker than Ferko. What's he possibly gonna do? What's he possibly gonna do against a strong, strapping man like Ferko? So he stands up, but as he stands, he prays. He prays to the mountains. He prays to the gods. And he simply says, please, save me. And just at that moment, from a crag, which is like one of those jagged, rocky niches, from a crag high up in the Badacsony mountain, a sound pealed out. A majestic, magnificent, horrifying sound. And Ferko, he's standing there with this massive rock on the boat, getting ready to drown, tie the rope around Joska's neck and drown him. Maybe his foot, he wasn't that sadistic. Or was he? But either way, when he hears this sound, he gives a jolt and he falls over the boat. And the rock, which is tied to the rope, which he's holding in his hand, drags him down. And he drowns. And he drowns. Sucks to suck, Ferko. And now, Joska heads back to the village. And of course, when Joska gets back, Briggy's like, oh Joska, it was always you that I wanted. I didn't care an inkling for your brother Ferko. Because Briggy, you know, she doesn't give a hoot about either brother. She just wants to kick her feet up on the family vineyard, exploit their vines for her own personal relaxation and comfort, and stare out at that beautiful lake. So what does Joska do? I mean, Briggy, she's got big boobs, she's nice to look at, but what does Joska do? He says, Michina's boss mag! He goes off and he meets a beautiful woman who he marries, and they have a lovely family, and they move to a neighboring village where they start their own vineyard, and there they still are. If they have not died today, there they still are. If they have not died today. Look at this old sign. Piroshka, Borzo, Weinstube, little German influence. A lookout point, dilapidated. Oh, someone needs to buy this place and resuscitate it. There's the Badacsony, that crested butte. Not technically a mountain. It's a butte or a butte. B-U-T-T-E. Geography, 4th grade. Read about it. Oh, you can imagine the Hungarians 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40, 50, 60 years ago, piling into this place, sipping their frutsch. Hazmash, their vice hazmash, their hosulepesh, talan krudi, bebasok, and staring out into the lake with the pinks at sunset and the orange sherbets at the dawn. So many memories, so many stories on Lake Balaton, beneath the Badacsony. Oh, is that the Szigliget Ivar? We must explore that today. We are entering here the Szigliget Ivar. Regi var, asisem, heitsas utven utevesh. This is the Turk Balint Kapu. Turk Balint, that famous hero of the Ottoman Hungarian era. Look at the marvelous, marvelous castle walls. Look out at the domains of Badacsony, the hills, the vineyards. You can imagine back in the day when the Balint, the Turk Balint family owned this castle, the Szigliget Ivar. All of the vineyards and the peasants and the farmers and the petty nobles and the artisans that populated this place. As we head up to the top here. Oh, hello. Yolapot. Wow. Look at these great old cimres. Perfect. You could blast through 1544 Ezer Utsas Nejvenej. Unbelievable. Oh. These little holes were added to the castle in the 16th century when the aforementioned Turk Balint was in charge. A time of gunpowder and violence and protection against the Turks. Oh, as we come up here upon the ramparts, we can see the magnificent view of the Balaton beyond and all of the ancient walls of this magnificent pile. Before the Turk family of Turk Balint owned the place, it was owned by the Újlakis, a very famous 14th, 15th century Hungarian family. And during the Turkish wars thereafter, this lake would freeze over during winter time, meaning that fortresses were needed alert in every season. You can imagine seeing the sails of the Ottoman fleet out in the distance and preparing the cannons for fire. So this castle would have been first erected during the reign of Negyedik Bela, after the vicious slaughter of the Tatayaras, when Hungary had to be rebuilt with stone fortresses to bolster the depleted defenses of the country. And that is why they call him the second founder of Magyarország, Negyedik Bela, for erecting fortresses such as the Szigliget and others. Oh, the wind billowing all around. And there on the castle grounds. Oh. Török család, lengyel család, Moritz hídai család, újlaki család. Hello, hello. Köszi szépen. Oh, yes. Fantasztikus történelem itt. Fantasztikus. Keste, Szigliget, Csobánc, Nagyvászony, Veszprém. All of the border fortresses on Lake Balaton. This would have been an ancient Hungarian troika, the fleet that was used to defend against the Turkish. Look at all these tiny little Magyars. Well, here we have Dr. Folly Gyula. 1867-tól 1915 így. And we are here at the Folly Arboretum. Stop number 2 of the afternoon. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous tree. Absolutely. Look at that pink. The Garden of Eden in Lake Balaton. That's what they call this Folly Arboretum. You know, before World War I and World War II, there were approximately 1,000 Arboretum mansions all around Magyarország. Today, about 350 remain, and they've taken great pains to restore them, such as this one here in Őrs, aka Badacsony Őrs. Ooh, I never saw a truce I didn't like. All right, put the backpack on. Gotta put the backpack on the front. Oh boy. Oh boy, what's gonna happen here? I'm really nervous. Oh my god. I got stuck. Quite mystical atmosphere out here in the Folly Arboretum. A great place for family trips. All generations welcome. Jó napot, jó napot. Jó napot. Jó napot, jó napot. Szép napot, jó napot. Jó napot. We've arrived to the lookout tower. Oh, let's see what the view's like. Hello, hello. Hello. Oh wow, gyönyörű. Szép. Nagyon gyönyörű, szép. Itt vagyunk a reneszánsz pálinka hely. A nagyon különleges kép. Pálinka szép. És most vásároltam 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. És most itt ez a kéknyelű, a nagyon különleges szülő Badacsonyon. Köszönöm szépen. Kicsi melege? Nem baj. Nagyon érdekes, jó. So we're here at the foot of the Szent György hegy. You can see the Szigliget. I can never say it. The Szigliget. The Szigliget. The Badacsony. Here's the Szászi, the Saxon the Saxon restaurant. Beautiful grapes, and we're just below the Szent György hedge, the St. George Hill. Oh wow, Badacsony, Badacsony, Badacsony. What a delightful place to spend a summer day. Szigligeti bar, Szigligeti bar. All right, well, we've got the kéknyelű. We learned about it this morning. The blue wine. From the Szászi Birtok. And I have to say, the blue wine. It is divine. The cake nielu. Really, really nice. Mineralic. Light, refreshing, crisp, and splendid. Köszönjük szépen.
Enjoy, jó étvágyat.
Görög dinnye gazpacho.
This is my favorite.
Vinci. Tényleg Vinci.
Is it spicier?
Correction. It's not watermelon. It's strawberry. A lovely meal here at the Szászi Birtok. We got the nice music, the nice chicken, splash of lemon, a little bit of fish. So delish.
Is the feta gonna be creamy like the last place?
Oh, nice. All right, I'm gonna stop now.
Get a video of you sucking the potato with the back.
Slow eating people. Slowly.
That's whatever I tell him.
All right, we're having the finishing touches on this meal. I gotta say, this Szászi Birtok, easily one of the top 5 restaurants I've been to in Hungary. Just a delightful place, great service, wonderful food, terrific wines, and oh, what a view.
I wanted to call it Jack.
Nagyon cuki kis kapona.
It's a really cute church.
You're getting better at Hungarian.
You can tell from your weird tone of voice.
And my camera's about to die, so we'll see you later. That's all for now from this beautiful place on earth.